Welcome to If They Won't Listen's episode 32. We got a no-show guest, and Spencer's enjoying his Easter. So me and Leon are going to talk to you. What's going on, Leon?
Not much. Didn't realize it was Easter, but I guess that's what happened. When you guys texted me yesterday going, "Oh, have a safe Easter," and I went, "Is Easter?" I had I had no idea. But when I woke up this morning, my wife, she did her little Easter egg hunt around our house. We had to find 18 little plastic eggs with chocolate and ginger rock candy, hard candy around the house, and we found all 18 of them, I think, in a matter of 20 minutes maybe, and then we ate ham.
No, dude, ham is an Easter meal.
Is it? I didn't know that. I've never observed Easter. I mean, I went to church when I was a kid, but and I don't remember ever, and doing the Easter egg hunt, I remember doing that, but I don't remember ham being a huge thing. But then again, I'm Cuban, so
uh
ham and pork is usually a part of my diet anyways.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah, now ham. I mean, I'll eat some cold cuts from time to time on ham, but I'm definitely not typically eating ham day to day. That's like it's like a dual thing on Thanksgiving. You have a turkey and a ham. But Easter, I feel like
Mm.
Easter's the ham holiday.
Easter's the ham holiday, and then St. Patty's Day is corned beef hash, something like that.
Hmm. Yeah, no, dude, that's totally right. Corned beef
Okay,
hash.
I know, I know the wife loves that. She loves corned beef hash. It's one of her favorites. She'll always get that when we go do brunch on Sundays.
No, that's awesome. Anything crazy happening with
um,
you?
yeah, today we did some major de-weeding on the front lawn and little garden area. Just all these weeds. We were tearing out that. You know how in some lawns they do that cloth, that mesh cloth
Mhm.
over, or usually a plastic over, and then they have a topsoil on top of it.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know who the genius was, but I don't think he took in consideration what weeds would grow, and they grew into it. So we had to tear through the cloth, that tarp, that this guard, that soil tarp, ripping it off to get to the weed roots, and it was just, and then we burned it all. As soon as we got them all out, we have a fire pit in our backyard. We burned everything. We burned the dead palm fronds, we burned the weeds, we burned the dead leaves that we were able to get, and it was just a nice little fire in the backyard. Really smoky. The whole neighborhood smells like smoke right now. I don't know. It's funny how no one freaking out. They just go, "Oh no, it smells smoke. No big deal. As long as I don't see a fire in my area, I think I'm okay."
That's insane. No, I was listening to a podcast earlier, and they were saying that they were burning boxes once, and they accidentally lit their whole backyard on fire. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
that is fucking insane. Like that is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I had to watch my fire. I had a bucket of water right next to me, just in case, because it's a fire pit. In the way that it's square shaped above the ground, and it's made of, it's just all stone, right? So I'm not worried about it spreading. However, there's some holes in here and there, so I try to be very mindful of it. So I kept a bucket of water because of that. I kept a bucket of water with me the entire time, just watching this smoke and watching everything catch fire, just in case if I had to just run and just throw and extinguish the fire because it started getting too out of control.
Yeah, no,
For
that's fucking. I kind of like in a bad way want to use a fire extinguisher.
you
Like,
you just see it on TV and movies, and you just go, it looks fun, right? All the phone goes everywhere. It looks like a good time.
it certainly does. I literally, so I logged into Disney Plus earlier on an unrelated
Okay.
note, and it gave me this notification on my phone. I'll read it to you. So when I Google if Disney's been hacked, they don't say any. It says like in 2019 they've been hacked, and so
Mm.
Google's either filtering out what I want to see or something. But it says I logged in earlier because my subscription bounced because I got a new card from fraud, and so this little notification popped up on the bottom of the screen. And I'm not going to focus it for 30 seconds to get you to see it, but it says this password has appeared in a data leak, which puts this account at high risk of compromise. You should change your password immediately. And then and on top of that, it was like iPhone can create a strong password for you. Would you like it to change your password for disneyplus.com? And I was like,
Mm.
okay, I've never seen that, but sure,
That
show me what a
feels.
strong passcode is. And I clicked it. And so in my passcode keychain, my iCloud passcode keychain, if that's not a mouthful enough, it saved a passcode that was like 18 letters, uppercase, lowercase, number, dash, slash, hyphen, apostrophe, and all the available characters it could use, it did. And so I get that it'd be a super secure passcode. But my problem with it was when I went back to Disney, it didn't prompt it as a passcode it could use. So it's like, are you giving me a secure passcode that I have to individually go and copy and paste in? Like that's not the point of me having a keychain that automatically recognizes when a password needs to go in. Like I love 2021, man. No matter what I want to do. Oh, I need to log into Google on a brand new phone. I look at my phone, I type in 4 digits and then a passcode and then answer a text message and we're done. Like it, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, I get what you mean. But as somebody that grew up on the internet since 1996, I can
mhm.
tell you that I'm old school in the way that I don't remember my own. I remember my passwords. I have them all written down. And as hackers got more and more sophisticated targeting, because what they target is passwords. And I learned when I was 19 that you have to do a passphrase. That's way more secure than a password. You want a phrase, something that you can remember.
Oh, okay. No, that's
So so usually a phrase you could do anywhere between 16 to 25 characters, which I believe the max, depending on where you're at, the max is usually the max for most websites and apps is 25. So if you can make a phrase that's 25 characters or even less than that, where you can throw in a special character in there, just wherever you want to throw it. So you can make it even, you can kind of just make that the space if you wanted to, right? So if you said something, books are the coolest, and you go, the books are at coolest at 89275, you would just fill that in, but you would just have to remember. But circling back, I'm old school because I have all my passwords written down. So even if there's that point where I go, what's my password? I can easily just look it up. No problem. I don't have to have my phone. I don't want my phone to remember my password. I mean, I have my browser remember my password and I have my phone. It does remember my passwords, but I like to have that control that I can remember my password just by glancing at a physical copy of all my passwords.
I'm with you. I mean, I agree with you there. Like I have hard copies of passcodes, but they deem they're more proficient, but they take longer. So like when I'm trying to expedite my life, I still have notebooks with old passcodes that if someone found, they wouldn't get anywhere. But it's like I don't know. That's an accessibility that's like honestly, if I lost my phone,
Mm.
I would need to eat like especially like if I lost my email passcode and couldn't
Mm.
two-factor it because I had no phone, I don't know what I would do. Everything is through like my email, you know?
Mm.
I feel like my whole life is my email. We talk about a social being important. Well, right now, if you get my social, you take my identity, have fun being Richard, you know. But like, you want to fucking you take my passcode. Like, you can take my life. You can destroy my image. You
Yeah.
can defamate
Oh,
me. You can,
oh, yeah.
you
Because
know.
once they have your email, usually, people have that tendency to have one email that they go to. I have four. I have four emails,
He's
and I
like,
use
I'm prepared. The big bad wolf may be able to blow down sticks and bricks and mud, but he ain't touching the fourth one.
as I stated before. I've been on it since 1996. I've seen some shit. I've seen shit go down. So I take extra precautions. I still want to hop on the VPN, the whole thing, really, because it's the one of the ways to describe it is that you're traveling, you're surfing the internet with a condom on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah. No, I mean,
it's a crude way of putting it.
it's the only app that starts when my PC starts. Like I keep everything else, even though I know I'm always going to that website and I know I'm always going to check this and I'm always like, I'm very habitual. So everything I do is pretty systematic. But the only thing that I see startup on startup is my VPN. Once I click it, I close the app and it's on the bottom bar and I'm on to my next. And it's like, that to me is just the greatest peace of mind because you can't read my data, whether you're Comcast or whether you're Facebook or no matter who you are, my data is being anonymized. And like that, I could care less that you can't track me. Like I don't care if you can figure out what town I'm from my IP or even my street or fuck even my street, my house address, because you're not here. But like if you can just like you can't blackmail me by telling me where I live. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I fucking know that. You know, it's public information to a degree. It may not be privy to everyone, but it is public. But if you get access to like my fucking, you know what I mean, my intimate like data, like things I search, that I don't want people knowing what I'm looking up, no matter what I don't want to have to explain that something was for posterity, something was for research, and something's because I'm weird. You know, like I don't want you to put all of those into your own category before you talk to me. You know what I mean?
No, I, I totally, I smell what you're stepping in.
You
Get it
just went like
completely.
a robot for a second. It was
It's a
funny.
basic human right. Beep bop boop. I completely get it. I do completely get it because it is a basic human right. It's the right to privacy, and when everybody is entitled to exercise that right. And I know so many people who are that are okay with the fact that your phone is picking up, is first of all recording you, and depending on who you're sharing it with. So if you allow permissions to Facebook and Instagram and Google, when they pick up on your conversations and start using marketing algorithms to start targeting you. My wife has brought, the funny thing is my wife would always go, she goes, oh, it's so crazy that I started talking about bathing suits and it's now on my Facebook, it's showing me bathing suits to buy. And I go, yeah, because your phone is recording you. What? And that if you really want to see something really creepy, go to ads settings plural .google.com and it'll show you everything it's been tracking since you started a Google account.
I've never even heard of that, but I bet it's a lot. I've had a lot of Google accounts.
Yeah, I mean, this is something Google shows you. They're very transparent about it. They are actually very transparent about it, which I do like. And I decided to block that. I also decided to block it tracking my history on YouTube. I don't really care about that. I mean, it's only just doing it to kind of more or less adjust the algorithm in a way where it suggests videos, but yeah, I can search. Once again, I'm old school. I can search exactly what I want. If I want to watch stupid cat videos, I can watch stupid cat videos. If I want to see amateur animators out there that want to put their own animated works out there, I know exactly what to search for. I don't need anyone's algorithm to help me out. I'm a very capable person.
No, and I agree. It does help me in large part though. Like I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
There's been I listened to basically just tons of Juice WRLD since he passed. And so like when I listen to 30 songs from him, they recommend 34 more. You know what I mean? That's like, so when I want that and I get that, that's nice because the earliest versions of YouTube didn't have that. Like even though I was watching Juice WRLD, it was more the paid stuff ended up on the top right, not the chosen because of me that could also probably be paid, but it's better demographic. Like I don't know what the answer is. Like, do you not want them to advertise at the best level? Like to what point is your data worth something? I mean, I remember when I had a cell phone plan and I had unlimited data for fucking 20 a month, but dude, it was a fucking half-inch display, like it was a flip phone, and it was the King Dick flip phone too, you know. But now it's, what I mean. I scoff at the iPhone 4 that revolutionized, made my life completely different. You know what I mean?
When did we have to ask ourselves, where do you draw the line? At some point, where do you draw a line? And I remember watching an episode of Parks and Recreation. I don't know if you ever watched this show, but there's an episode that makes fun of this internet company that comes into the town to provide faster internet. And then one of the things that they did was they mined data from everybody that was using the service in that area, and to get people on their side to do a vote on a piece of land that was in contestation. Is that the word? Just contested land between the government and this internet company. And to get people on their good side, they deliver things that they want, that people would want. Go, hey, here's from Grizzly, and here's something that you like. Oh, you wanted this rare figurine into your collection, blah, blah, blah. Right there, that is a huge invasion of privacy. And plus it's a bribe. I didn't like that. And so where do you draw that line? All right, fine. If I'm shopping on Amazon and you see me purchase a couple of Dungeons and Dragons books and then a couple of sci-fi novels, and then you suggest, hey, there's some other sci-fi novels that you also might like. The same thing with the Pandora algorithm. You thumbs up a song, you thumbs down a song, and the playlist starts to manipulate in a way where it goes, all right, so we see that you kind of like this music. It's got its uses, but there has to be a restriction on how far it can go. And I do find the fact that it's picking up on conversations to be very, very I find it to be unethical. If you hear me talking about freaking anime, and then all of a sudden you go, hey, these are the top 10 animes of 2021. My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan is ending this year, so you probably want to catch up on all the Attack on Titans. I go, dude, I didn't ask you to do that. I did not ask you to do that.
I can see it in a multifaceted way.
Yeah.
I think it's done with an intention to both please and profit. I think it was the best of both worlds. If there was a dial between them, I think they're on a balanced point. But it's certainly weird. I agree with you. Like, when is it too far? Like, but then again, like, we haven't seen one instance of data learned from these type deals that actually affected anyone, right? Like, it's irritating, and a lot of people talk about it. I've heard it spoke about more times than I could ever reproduce, but I've never heard of someone losing money because someone had the data, or it's just
right.
that they give you different products. It's like Amazon, dude, they show me a lot of shit that I actually buy. And so,
right.
But I've never had fraud from Amazon that I know,
Well, there's with Amazon, at least, and I turned off Alexa. I don't use Echo. And with that, there's actually an exchange of of goods on there. So so with that, I don't have a problem. You're using my money that I bought, that I'm using to buy gardening tools, to buy freaking Dungeons and Dragons manuals, to buy freaking sci-fi novels off the Kindle, and you're just making suggestions. That's fine. The problem I have is where Google and Facebook are selling your data to marketers, and that is a problem. So a very good example of that is that you might have been searching things about mental health, right? Because you're going, I'm what are symptoms of anxiety? What are symptoms of depression? Which is, researching your own mental health is fine. And then looking for help is also fine. But then Google takes that data, or Facebook takes that data and goes to a marketer and goes, here, start advertising to this person. Right.
I didn't know they outsourced it, but that's the context that bothers you. Like, if they personally just use that to give you those ads, you'd be fine with it.
If I paid for it, it's a whole different story. It's a whole different thing if I'm paying for it. If I wanted to have the ads to me, that's totally fine. Where I draw the line is like, to have a free service, now you're taking my personal data, things I've searched for, things I look at, and then think this is the composition that makes Leon sell it to the marketer. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was gonna say something that was a net. Hello.
That's all for you biz, bro.
She wants love. She's just like, you're sitting here, you're kind of warm, And I'm like, yeah, I have a heater next to me. What do you, yeah, no, she just wants love, but no. So the only thing I see that I have to wonder about is, like, so when it comes down to the actual efficacy of it, like, See, I agree with you. Like outsourcing it is now definitely a problem. But even if you did it in house, I don't know if we can call that okay either. But are any of these platforms that this is happening on, are like where are they not unlike a highway? Like the highway is public, Facebook's
Hmm.
public, Amazon's
Right.
public, and so like the highway, you don't get to decide the billboards. And so are the billboards, granted, when you're driving down the highway, it doesn't read your preferences and your Google history and change the
Right.
billboard due to what you like. But
That's the
let's
caveat.
that's the big change, and that's what this is not hinging on. But
Mm.
to that degree, like I don't pay for anything on Facebook. I even think that their marketplace ad revenue. Actually, when I first had this podcast, I paid probably $150 on Facebook, and it's a waste of time. Like I have fucking real analytics from YouTube Studio, like broken down to like the country that people are watching from, how old they are, because you have to specify it in your account. Like I have great YouTube analytics, and Facebook's like, oh, you had 1,100 clicks for your $30. Bro,
Mm.
I have 9 views on my podcast. The fuck are you talking about? Like I have real, and like YouTube will pay me based on views, whether it's 900 or 9,000. That we're talking pennies. But even still, like YouTube keeps track very well, and Facebook, it's literally it robs you. Like I've spent 170 or 150 or 100 something dollars truly trying to make money. It was like post this ad, post this, and I did, and it to no accord. Like honestly, like I was throwing
Yeah.
money at the wall thinking it would do something, and
Yeah.
as I learned how to read the results of it better, now I do fuck Facebook. It's Fiverr. You know what I mean? Use Fiverr, and on top of that, you try to build your SEO on YouTube. Like the thing I didn't know is like the key to YouTube is you don't, at least to what I understand at this point, the title of your video is irrelevant. Like it's less irrelevant than this, therefore it's irrelevant. It's still worth like 30%, but it's not the main premise. So like when you're searching for
Mm.
ITWL is worth something. But if you do comedy podcast, you know what I mean, with video,
Yeah.
if our tags under our show are comedy,
Yes.
video, podcasting,
Right.
then we're boosted. And
Yeah, exactly. It, not to interrupt you, but that's what worked for my, that's been working for my blog is tagging. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, and so like based, I learned Facebook because there's,
Mhm.
I can make a post and people can follow me, but more often than not, Facebook it's used in leisure, and so people don't want to have to be liking stuff. Like I rarely like things on Facebook. I love the video, but I don't like it. Like I'm there to watch it, and so like that's sometimes a weird. And like if I really like a video, I'll like it because like now I'm a creator and I
Mm.
understand it, but most of the time I'm just chilling, so I get it. But like I'm not gonna lie, Facebook, like I can't believe that whether it's for leisure or whether it's for money, it's not a good system for getting views. And YouTube, like I said, I would have thought that having a different title, like if our title is, that's why I tried to do like clickbaity titles, because if you have a clickbaity title, then you click the title and then you get into it and
Yeah.
bada bing
Yeah.
bada boom. But even at the same time, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't search on them. So now I'm not trying to do clickbait. I'm just trying to be as accurate based on the most controversial topics we spoke about.
Right.
You
And
know,
that and that's totally fine. I think one of the biggest um YouTube channels that's just known for clickbait crap is Looper, Grudge, and there's another one I can't think of it at the moment. But they make clickbait titles. The most recent one was uh about Jared Leto's accomplishment as a Joker, and they made it into this 5-minute video just to say that he's been the Joker twice. Big whoop.
yeah. So tell me how this would do. You seem to understand the
Mhm.
meta of it right now. Okay, so I have a how to and a shooting channel, and we're gonna shoot shit and blow shit up and test some physics, and I'm gonna make it fun, scientific, and scientific slash informative, and dangerous, like all at the same time. I'm going to be applying to your primal senses, your
Ooh.
exciting senses, your informational senses. Like I want to hit it all. I want to teach you something, tell you why we're going to be safe doing a stupidly dangerous thing, the precautions we've taken, how you could do this if I didn't condone it, but you wanted to do it, how to do it safely. Because I hate that. Like people will be like, don't do this, it's not safe, but not tell you how to be safe. And it's like, well, telling me not
Right.
to do it makes me want to do it. Like,
Yeah, no, and but you want to do it in a safe way. a good example of that is the whole jackass thing. If people were to be taught how to properly fall, how to properly take a hit, how to properly do this, it's like it could still hurt, but you've trained your body in the muscle memory to know how to take the hit or the explosion or a kick in the nuts, what have you. Right. So that's that disclaimer when when they do that. Don't try this at home. Don't mimic this after season 1 because of all the kids that did very stupid stuff, myself included.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, and it's a fucking thing. Like that disclaimer is worth something. You know what I mean? And
Oh
it's like
yeah.
in
Oh
wrestling. You
yeah.
know how many people have had a pile driver done? And what you don't know
Oh,
is I heard a wrestler, the Undertaker on Rogan, and he was like, yeah, you know, when you land a pile driver, you know, you extend your body in a certain way that their head doesn't really hit, and it looks like it because your thighs have it in between
your
it,
thighs are holding them.
and you lift them up a
Yeah.
little bit, and they shrug in a little bit, and it's a trust system because you can
Right.
break a neck or a back. And one, I believe it's twice. It guaranteed once it's happened, but I believe it's twice that's gone wrong. Someone was an inch too far down, they
Yeah.
slipped, and you had a broken neck or a broken back. And it's
My
like,
yeah. Go ahead.
no, that was the premise.
Right. And my brother, funny enough, is a wrestler,
Mm-hmm. I didn't
and
know.
he's
That's crazy.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I just got on the podcast. There's gonna be we're barely scratching the
Oh,
surface, baby.
just cutting it off
And
the top, little skim
yeah,
milk.
yeah. But my brother, he's a wrestler. He's been training for I think a year now. He did his his mini debut earlier this year, and it was good. He did another show. Not they're kind of just doing an in-house kind of thing, and eventually when he gets trained enough, he's gonna start moving into doing the smaller circuits and titles that are out there. But I see what he does, and everyone says wrestling's fake, wrestling's fake. There's a difference between fake and choreograph. Okay, you know,
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
yeah,
What they're saying by
CGI is fake, but stunt coordinators are actually throwing their bodies into the fire or falling off the side of the Nakatomi Tower.
yeah, not there was a quote that was said in this anime called Hunter x Hunter, and it was said by the first dojo leader, or not
Mm,
dojo, but the first instructor that taught them about like the real world version of chi and karate.
yeah,
And he had said, he was like, and I only remember the first bit, so I'm paraphrasing. He's like, a smuttering of knowledge can be more dangerous if not knowing the whole subject, then you know what I mean. Like having one line of a great piece of information is more dangerous than taking the time to live not knowing until you know all the information. You know, and
yeah.
I got to get the quote because it was a beautiful quote, but it just,
I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying.
you
I'm
know,
picking up.
you
Yeah,
you can say carpe diem, but that doesn't mean you have a philosophy to where you know how to live every day like it's your last.
right. No,
You know, like, and that's all I mean. It's like an ambiguous type of thing, but
yeah. And then so circling back, you want to start a YouTube channel where you're doing fun science stuff that's dangerous, but you want to give a disclaimer. And so I wanted, what was the question that you're asking? Kind of to circle it back towards
yeah.
the whole the SEO kind of thing. There was something you wanted to pick my brain at.
No, yeah, and I would have got back up to it because I was thinking about it a lot. But yeah, so
Yeah,
the
you were.
channel already exists, and we already recorded a one
Mm,
video, and we've had 2 weird weeks at work, so and on the holidays, so we're
yeah.
off recording. But we're gonna be doing it again soon. I'm gonna get a GoPro, and so basically, like,
Okay.
I'll be able to, like, I want to do a whole bunch of performance work to my car, and so I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
record it elegantly from 2 angles at all times with
Nice.
audio, and spend a lot of time editing it. And
Yeah.
so I'll do how-to videos for working on cars because there's a lot of cars that I've had that, like, I learned on how to fix it by watching 3 other models of cars get fixed in different ways and put together the engineering that is that item, like a
Yeah.
caliper or something. And hello.
That's
Um,
really good, actually, to reverse engineer base offsite. That's very
well,
impressive,
if there's
dude.
no video for like a Mitsubishi Eclipse
Yeah.
and it's a different car, then
Yeah.
it just, I don't know. So I would like to do it for my Subaru. And so every time I work on it, it's a chance to make a video. And then on top of that, every time I go out, like, so my plan, the thing I wanted to bring up,
Yeah.
I want to do a video where we do target practice based on the efficacy of caliber in bullets. And we could also do subcategories of whether it's I now am learning, I'm learning about guns a lot more, but there's like plastic tips to bullets that actually are being fired, and then there's polymer tips, and there's lead tips, which are most common. Even the polymer tips, they're lead inside, but they're polymer on the outside. And supposedly the polymer, it makes it better or something. I can't explain it, but
Okay.
and they're even more expensive than a regular round, you know. And so what I'm thinking of doing is using all these physics and all these different types of rounds and calibers. I'm gonna use my printer, and I'm gonna print out a bunch of Joe Biden, you know,
Okay.
and I'm gonna put them on a stick like a scarecrow, but a very light one that can be waved.
Okay.
And I'm gonna create a very sort of simple, like the engineering it would take for a gate at a parking lot, you know.
Okay.
And we're gonna put him on it, and then we're gonna see reaction time holstered. How far down degree wise does he get before we can shoot him? And there'll be an opposing stick, like the carrot for the rabbit, or the rabbit for the greyhound, and the carrot will be an actual person that we photoshopped that he's creepily Joe Biden touched. And so we have to pull the gun out and hit the correct target. So it's like a police academy training, shoot the bad guy while he's holding the good guy. But it's going to be a reenactment of our president creepily touching people. And we have to shoot the president before he touches the guy. And we're going to be testing the physics of rounds, calibers, and the efficacy of pulling and shooting at a moving target.
Okay.
So I thought all of that, like during a Bud Light walking across the street. It was like it was like when you download a folder and the folder has information just worth of hours of thought, like that hit me in 3 seconds. I was like,
well, your mind is one of the most fastest computing things on Earth.
No, it's the most, you know, philosophically, it's the most priceless item you can have.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like you can't buy a better brain.
Oh, yeah. You can't. Yeah. Your mind is individual. And what I mean, I strongly believe whatever you put into your body definitely affects your mind. I mean, even I'm not even talking about drugs. You know, people who scarf down, you know, junk food tend to kind of mess up their minds a little bit. You know what I mean? Their thinking is
junk
not
food, bro. You don't eat junk food?
I don't do junk food. I don't.
What's wrong with you, bro? Last night before I went to bed, I drank a whole, like, and I'm talking the second I closed my eyes, I drank a whole Dr. Pepper and ate 3 packages of Sour Patch Kids, and then went to bed.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm not a junk food guy. I have
that's like Monday, bro.
I have my own type of junk food. I'll do cookies, I'll do chocolates and stuff. But with my wife being a nutritionist, we find what's the closest to healthy that you can get. Like, we have chips, but we have to make sure the ingredients only says potato and you know, and
no
oil,
high fructose corn syrup, or
no high, none of that. If there's more than 4 ingredients,
let me hit you with this.
Yeah, go for it. What's that, doll?
Recently on Rogan, they had a doctor on, and it's someone who I believe is way more correct than anyone in our level of existence. I hate to say, the frontier of science when it comes to what's healthy and what's not. Whereas if you were to Google what's correct, that stuff's wrong because this guy writes that book. So if this guy says that's wrong, it's because he said that back in the day and he's changing his mind, like that type of leading science. And they're now saying, so like whole grains and grains themselves are bad. Like it's you know, and like that was something I didn't understand. I thought, you know, you wanted a whole grain or something, and I'm not a healthy person, but I'm trying to learn. You know, I got
whole grains. Whole
vitamins, bro. I'm taking vitamins now. I got them in like a Monday through Friday thing. I'm trying to be, but
but whole grains have always been an issue here especially in America. Our soil is not great. Our soil is not great, you know, and rice is actually not bad for you. You know, these are one of those things that is in moderation. If you're having rice every day for every meal, it's a problem, especially if you have bread with every meal, a bagel with a bagel. You know, these are things. A bagel. It's round.
So real quick, so I can put these away. But yeah, no, these were the polymer ones I'm talking about.
And man, look at them bullets.
I took a picture of them, bro. They were so pretty. Like the tip is plastic. Pretty. It's fucking plastic. Like it's a little red.
Still lethal, I'm assuming.
Highly, you know. But I just, as a person, like I went into the gun store to file a form to get a gun, and when I did that, you know, I heard about the bullet scarcity and the fact that this guy had bullets, and so even without a gun, I was like, well, end of the world, gotta have bullets, you know. And I bought a few boxes of bullets. So you know, being advantageous to be advantageous about being advantageous, you know.
All right, so That's actually pretty cool. And so, okay, circling back, my philosophy when it comes to diet, to what's considered healthy, the way I look at it, if you are an omnivore, which I'm assuming you are, you can't go wrong with just produce and a meat. If you want to do chicken with radishes and kale, you got yourself, hey man, you got yourself a meal. You got
So
beef. Yeah, go ahead.
so everything I heard in the last week changes everything I thought I knew. But so also so no whole grains,
Yeah.
no soy. That's a new thing. Like
Oh yeah, you
right
didn't know
now.
that?
Well,
Yeah,
no,
dude, soy gives you man tits.
well, bro, I'm trying to get those, but through push-ups,
That's no, those are different.
they're
These are
different.
we're talking
Hey,
about straight up
can I
saggy moves.
can I tell you something, bro?
Go for it, Brand.
Have
Whisper
you
to
have
whisper it, whisper it.
have you ever had a Vin Diesel, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Hulk Hogan bicep little booby jump? Like, can you jump the booby?
Oh man, I
Like,
don't.
you don't need to show me, but like, can you, bro? So
I can kind of do it with the
I'm
left one.
I'm
That's
6'3", right? So like my
yeah,
whole
yeah.
life I've been flat chested. I have a chest tattoo. It's almost like it's vertical. No quarter sits on this. It's and so my
Mm.
whole life I've been flat chested. And I've been now I'm doing push-ups, fucking triangle grip in the middle. I spend time trying to do them one-handed like Bruce Lee with my daughter on my back. Like I'm going overboard on the push-ups.
Sounds
And
ham.
yeah, I'm trying to get a chest, but bro, like over like 3 or 4 months of consistently not missing like more than 2 days without doing a real set. And my goal now is I'm taking one of Rogan's philosophies. I'm not working out until I'm fatigued now and burnt and burning. I now work out 3 times as much and never reach burning. So it's like super tensioning. So like instead of doing 30 push-ups or 50 and calling it done, and then I'll do that again in 3 hours, I'm
Yeah.
doing 5 every 30 minutes all day. And so at the end of the day, I'm doing triple the push-ups and I never reach that super strain, but I get this equivalent growth with less,
Right.
it's so much better. And
Yeah.
but
Okay. I
yeah,
see. I see what you're stepping in.
I got my first booby bump, bro. Like I
That's
got, I
awesome.
have like a high schooler's A
Mazel
cup right
tov.
now, and I was in there, and
Oh my
I
god.
moved my shoulder, and it went,
Boop.
like now when I jog, I'll be at work and I'll jog to the bathroom, and it feels like there's a chest movement, and I'm like, oh my god, I've never been fat, so I don't know what that feels like,
And
like
there's nothing wrong with that. That's that kind of man booby is fine, but the kind that you get from soy because it contains a lot of estrogen, which you're a man who produces testosterone because of
makes
your
you
testicles.
effeminate.
Yeah, it's not, dude, it is not a good look. I haven't done soy products in years. I remember I actually got on not a soy kick, but I did do tofu, but I would do it in moderation, but eventually I just stopped doing tofu because I don't want soy in my diet, right? I don't want it in my diet at all because
I didn't
it's
know it
not.
was bad because
Yeah,
like all of the duplicates of what was
yeah,
like the better than beef, beyond beef, that's all like soy based, like the patties are, and there's
yeah.
so many types of things that were made with that. And I'm trying to, like, honestly, if I really
Mm.
were to follow every dietary tip, I can't eat anything. It's like the chicken
The
breast and broccoli.
I don't follow any dietary. I don't think if ever in my life have I ever followed anyone's dietary plan because everybody's body is different. Okay, everybody's body is different. Your body is different from mine. Our bodies are different from Spencer's. We can go on forever ad
Do
infinitum.
you
All
think
right,
I was gifted with the body that can be the garbage disposal for 97 years?
garbage disposal for 97. Yeah, why not?
Well, I
The
mean,
way you got the way you have to look at it, since the dawn of man, we've been eating two types of food: meat and vegetables and fruit. Your produce. So wait, three technically, but produce. I'll just generalize and lump them together. Produce and meat. That's what we've been consuming for eons and eons, for millennia, for thousands and thousands of hundreds of thousands of years. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just go get some chicken, go get some broccoli, go get some kale, go get some carrots, go get potatoes. There's nothing wrong with starches. I like starches. I just had my morning breakfast was starchy. It had sweet potato. I don't do white potatoes. I do sweet potatoes and I do red potatoes. And no reason in particular, but sweet potatoes are a much more complex carbohydrate, so your body can break it down differently than a simple carbohydrate. I'm not going to get into the science of that because I don't know it 100%. But just do that. Just meat and vegetables, and you're fine. Now, if I'm not trying to argue with vegans and I'm not trying to argue with vegetarians, etc. But usually, if when you want to have, I mean, that's how the way I've been doing it. And I find I'm honestly so healthy. I always forget I'm on the verge of 35. I always keep thinking I'm 27.
So I'm moving out, and you're splitting up from my girl, and I'm getting my own place, and I got an apartment across the street. So it's you there? I think I lost you. You didn't get stuck on a bad face of all the faces to get stuck on. If you can hear me. Oh, I heard something. Sorry, folks, having technical difficulties. Oh, I can see you. Can't hear you yet.
Blah 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 blah. Yeah, looks like my internet got a little unstable. We've been having issues for a little bit now, so I don't know what you heard. So, what was the last thing you heard me say?
I don't know. I was equally talking because you must have cut out before
Oh yeah.
you hadn't been talking. I think I interjected as you lagged out.
Oh no, that's crazy. So I don't know. All right, so I'm gonna circle back to what was the last thing I said, which was meat and potato, like your meat and your produce, vegetables, fruit. I feel that's really all you really need to have a healthier lifestyle. I don't want to follow a thing where it says you need to eat bacon all the time at this point, and then for the next half of the day you need to eat this, and then you need to go on a juice cleanse for the next 4 days. I don't buy into that.
Yeah, no, I get that. And what I was saying, well, you were talking about that in the silence of Lag City,
Yeah.
was so like I'm gonna be moving out and getting my own place now across the street from my girl, and
Okay.
doing the single parent separate lifestyle, so to speak.
Okay.
And so now like my diet, my fridge, it's all mine. Never had that before as an adult boy. So I'm not gonna lie, like thinking about it, I'm just I'm
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I think I diametrically oppose like a vegan. Like I think I'm a 95% carnivore and a 5% omnivore. Like I honestly, I like vegetables. They're chill. If they're on the side of my plate, better yet. The best meal I ever had was liver. And when I had it, it was sauteed onions and peppers and greens, and like there was fucking like lettuce on top of the meat,
Stop, man.
all at the same.
That sounds
It
amazing.
was everything together, like super
Yeah.
healthy, delicious wine, roasted, sauteed liver, and then, like I said, with all the greens on it. So in that instance, I'm not gonna pick around the
Yeah.
sauteed wine greens. They're going down, and maybe they're not as healthy because they were
You
sauteed
just
in wine. But like,
you, you I think you just have to produce you have to prepare your produce, your vegetables, your fruits in your own way. I mean, I like an
do you
apple. Yeah, go ahead.
do you see anything wrong with the carnivore diet though? Like literally being 90% meat. Like I don't mean just like a steak or just a hamburger, but oscillating from chicken to pork to meat. Like
I've seen some unhealthy vegans. Okay. They my wife sees it all the time as a nutritionist. She sees vegans and she always finds they always say they're healthy, but she ends up finding something that's actually wrong with them. All right. And then she helps them out with advisories to get them healthy. And she's gotten a few vegans to start eating meat again. And the difference between how the way their skin looks from when they were vegan to now is night and day. And having a 90% carnivore diet, I'm not going to say don't do it. If you feel that it's your truth, it makes you healthy. All right, man, it's your body. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. If you feel that you can eat a plate of chicken breast with beef ribs right next to it, and then have maybe 2 radishes and just eat those, and then say to me, all right, now that I've finished doing that, I'm going to go to work. And then when you go to work, you don't feel tired at all or fatigued. Go back home, do push-ups, do sit-ups, and you do squats, and you still feel fine enough to play some COD at the end of the day. More power to you.
so. Now is everything you said with the grain of salt hidden, being that like if you're in a healthy state, like because like there is a big thing, like the context of gaining weight in this country is weird. Like
Yeah.
American weight is unlike the rest of the world. The rest of the world, they're like, where'd you get the food? You know, more than one comedian has said that joke. But like in America,
Mm.
we're at the point where you can't fat shame, but when fatness is at its peak, like 86% of people who got COVID and had problems, like bad problems,
Mm-hmm.
they had a bunch of comorbidities, and most of them were overweight. You know?
Yeah, and I'm not fat shaming either. I don't find anything wrong with someone being plump. I don't find anything wrong with that. But it comes to a point where if you have a bad immune system and you you get COVID or you get some conjunctival disease, it's because your immune system is not 100%. And if you happen to have 40% body fat, there should definitely be a corollary there that's happening there that says, well, okay, maybe my body weight happens to be an indicative of the quality of my immune system. Once again, I'm not fat shaming. And
No, I
yeah, and there's people that are healthy who are plump. It's just the reason why they're plump or why their body fat percentage is over 25% is because they have a thyroid issue, a thyroid issue, and that can affect how your metabolism works, and that can happen.
yeah, no, I especially
Yeah.
something like that. Like if you have a disease and you can, like if you were born with one less of a limb,
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect you to create one. Manifesting that mentally will not get you one.
Yeah.
So I get that. Whereas if you were a little overweight, manifesting diligence will get you skinny. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And I have to wonder, like, look, taking it both pragmatically, using
Yeah.
pragmaticism, and taking it like as far devil's advocate as I can in the same sentence. Where do we draw the line, and what is the line? Like as a country, freedom is first. So
Right.
if we turn into Wally and we're all fat in chairs and can't move and our whole life is motionless,
Right.
if that's the standard, then of course you know these questions are moot. But like to mitigate getting to that point, is there ever a point where we can say like you weigh too much, you need to work? I don't. That doesn't feel polite. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm mean just saying that sentence. So
It's not polite at all, man. It
but
I believe.
is
Mhm.
it a, I don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah, go ahead,
is it
dude.
so impolite that like their lack of time on this planet is you know what I mean? Like where is the freedom to life ratio? Like if you're unhealthy
Mhm.
and you're gonna die and you want to work on it, and we were willing to help, but you had to accept your problem. Like if I'm saying your
Yeah.
problem is a problem, is that not, you know, like
Well, okay, so you're right. I believe in individual liberties. I believe in individual freedom. I don't believe the government should have any involvement in telling, they can't go around outlawing McDonald's and fast food restaurants. I find that at that point that would be immoral. Okay, their business, they do what they do. I don't 100% agree with their business model, whatever, but they have a right to be there. They have the right to set up, and they have a right to have customers to exchange for their goods, which happens to be their fast food product. Where do you draw the line? The line that right there to me would be that line. Okay, you don't go to someone and slap the cheeseburger out their hand and say, "Hey, fat ass, lose some weight." You
oh,
don't
you're right.
do right. You don't do that. As much as a vegan doesn't have the right, now they can protest the slaughtering of animals, etc. But if you get in the way between me and my burger, I'm gonna slap you in the face to get through.
Yeah, no, and
Right?
I get that too. I guess I
Yeah.
just
But
it's a weird culture where like the majority of people are overweight, and so the
yeah,
culture is shifting into an anti-blaming for that. And it's like being not overweight, I can imagine, but I can't sympathize. But in the same sense, like my weakness to drugs that I have, where like I just
yeah.
love losing
It is
sobriety.
food
If
is an addiction.
if I compare how much I
Yeah.
love that to not how much, because I don't think it's a food issue. Like
Yeah.
I don't believe that it's you're
Okay.
just endlessly eating. I believe it's a
It's
a utility in movement. It's a movement issue. Like if you,
uh-huh.
I eat fucking 12,000 calories a day. Like I eat as many calories as
Yeah.
professional bodybuilders, but I'm doing push-ups every 30 minutes. I'm standing for 10 hours as a job. I'm
Mhm.
doing curl-ups while I listen to Joe Rogan as I go to bed. Like I'm expunging the calories I take in because I have an adequate understanding of, how much my food to energy ratio is,
Right. And that's fine. You're being active, and that's fantastic. You what you get is you get these we you're right. We live in a society where food is an addiction, but it's because your certain food corporations that are out there have added put additives in there that are addictive. Sugar is an addictive substance, especially when it's been enriched with other additives, right? When they bleach it and they enrich it, they make it just a little bit more addicting. Okay,
Hmm.
as opposed to raw sugar where it's just sweet, or even using maple syrup to, sweeten up your coffee, or honey to sweeten up your coffee. It's not as addictive. It's not very addictive. It's good, but it's not addictive. I can still have coffee black without any sweeteners and still be fine. But here are a lot of these conglomerates that are out there with food. They do something to it that makes it addictive. And I actually asked a question on Reddit, on Ask Reddit, going, what is the hardest part of losing weight? And people have said it's definitely exercising is not an issue. They say they can go out and do a walk, they can go do some push-ups, they can go try to do squats. The issue is changing your diet. It is 100%. All right, how do I lay off the microwave foods? How do I lay off eating all the snacky foods? How do I lay off all the sugary treats? And the problem is they are very addictive. And I remember always loved having soda. I loved having Coca-Cola, Pepsi Cola. I loved it. But then one year I just decided on Lent, let me give up soda. And my soda consumption has dramatically increased to the point that I went 3 years without ever drinking soda. It was a very much a mind over the substance kind of thing that I just had to quit. But it was difficult. I remember it being pretty
I mean,
difficult
I
because
fucking love soda, and I mean, it's
yeah,
it's a bottle of
I'll have it
sugar.
once in a while. I'll
You
have it
know,
once in a while where I go, you know what? I'll pop. It's been a while. I think it's been about 8 months since I last had a soda.
I'm the lesser than guy. I
Mhm.
quit cigarettes, and soda's lesser than cigarettes, so I'll have a soda. You know what I mean? That I'm the lesser than
Yeah.
guy. I've done fucking heroin, so like
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
smoke some weed. It's lesser than that. I'm like
Yeah.
Pac-Man on a keyboard. Like I'm lesser than. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but circling, it's to kind of circle it back. I don't think it's anybody's, unless a person asks for your help. If someone says to you, Ricky, hey, I want to lose weight, can you kind of you know observe my eating habits, and if you notice that I'm eating more than what I should be, could you just say something? It doesn't have to be derogative. You just have to point it out to me and make it known to me, because sometimes people get lost in themselves, an introvert, that they forget. It could be a number of things. It could be stress from work, stress from life. It could just be how going through the motions and becoming routine, that they go right back to eating what they once were used to. And so sometimes having a support system is very important, but you as a person cannot go up to another person and say, please stop eating that cheeseburger, because it ain't doing you any favors down on your muffin top. It's
No,
rude.
no,
It's
no.
rude.
I don't want to conflate that for sure. Like that's not. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. It's like, if you tell me I don't know. I think people who need help don't know they need help, and if they do know they need help, they've willfully accepted help is beyond,
Mhm.
like even though a wrench can be turned, sometimes it's the ROI just isn't good, and like they accept that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't know. You hear success stories, and it's like I'm the guy who looks at the outliers and the exceptions and go, the rule average can go up or down. Like
Mhm.
if we have 100 exceptional people who like Elon Musk, the average of what's expected goes up. But if we have 100 people like that fat lady who flew that guy off that spinning machine to the moon on that meme a few years ago, um, then then maybe the average goes down, or like I saw the same sort of thing happen on a video where it was the same sort of spinning playground attraction, and they laid down a motorcycle and
Yeah,
put
I've
the
seen that
tire
one.
up to it and fucking cranked it. It was like,
Yeah, I've seen that video.
I would do that too, but that's a terrible idea. You know what I mean? It's like,
Disclaimer: don't do this.
yeah,
I get it. It's just that people have to, view themselves outside of their own situation and pull them. They have to be, first of all, a person has to be willing to pull themselves out of their situation or and kind of exteriorize to the point where they look at themselves and go, yeah, there's definitely something wrong with me. It's in the same way of mental health. They go, shit, I'm really depressed lately. I wonder if there's something that can be done about it. And then they do their research, right? It's the same thing for people who are overweight. They just one day just they have to have that moment of realization or cognition where they go, man, I cannot play ball with my son. I cannot keep up with my daughter. I cannot keep up with my kids. Or, oh, I literally cannot walk across my house and not feel tired by the time I get to the other side of the room, right? It's got to be that point where they look at themselves and say, oh man, I have a situation and I need to do something about it.
Yeah, most people that have a problem aren't at that point. I
Yeah,
smoked cigarettes for 11 years. And even though I tried to quit for the last 3, it wasn't until my desire to quit had become adamant. Like, I still liked. And like, when I first started trying to quit, I told myself I didn't like them and I didn't want them. And like, I lied to myself, even to others, describing it in a third person narrative. But like, honestly, I've now quit, and it'll be a year sometime around the 4th of July. And the one time it worked, quitting, like I've tried to quit cigarettes probably for more days than I've smoked cigarettes, and that's completely inaccurate, but even still, like I didn't count my days and my hours, when quitting work.
You just did it.
It was, and it was like patches and gum, neither of that stuff was applicable for me. So when it it was weird. Like, I was mad at myself for failing quitting so many times. And it was like this inner disgust. And I was just like, dude, I don't even like the taste of them. The ROI is bad all around. I'm wasting fucking $13 a day. And the only thing I have to look forward to when I'm stressed is this piece of shit that doesn't make me feel better. It's a placebo stress killer. And once I accepted whole table, everything about it was bad, and I liked a bad thing, I was able to say, I like a bad thing. And maybe when I proved to myself 10 years in of quitting, or 20, maybe as a rich, successful entrepreneur in my 50s, instead of a cigar, I'll have a Marlboro Red if they're still around in 2050 something.
Yeah.
But that'll be like, okay, Richard, you've went 2 decades over the 11 years of retardation you did. You can have it, but even then it might be this taste in my mouth where I'm like, half a dragon. Now we'll go back to another 30 years of no.
Yeah, I mean, as a person that used to be addicted to soda since I was a baby, all the way up until my 20s, and when I sometimes will go back and have a soda, there's still that moment of, oh yeah, this does taste good, but then after a couple of sips, I go, yeah, I don't like this. And that's why I always have a problem with cans. I'll pour maybe that much soda in a cup and just have that and just be, I'm fine with that.
See, I don't have that gift. Like, I just love it. Like, if I had a 12-pack of grape soda right next to me right now, I could have if it was a contest, I could drink 3 12-packs in an hour podcast. I wouldn't be disgusted. I like the taste.
Dude,
like, I like freezing cold. It hits my lips and I'm like, ah.
It's just one day it becomes, you just have to either see it as a problem or something that you enjoy. And right now for you, it's something that you enjoy, and I don't have anything against you. And why would I have something against you?
Well, what?
Yeah, exactly.
What? Shit.
Oh my God.
And I love soda. Like, I love soda. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm working out really hard, and yeah, I'm probably getting heavy diminishing returns from soda. But there's some weightlifters who, after a hard workout, have a Snickers and a Coke. But that's because, they depleted their muscles of the sugars so much that the exact thing you need after a 90-minute with no calories in you workout is, the calories of a Snickers and a Coke. And it's like,
No, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
No,
That
I'm
you
just
need a
saying
sickest go. Yeah, and
it's a
the funny
thing.
thing, is that after a workout, I've deplete so much. My wife will tell me, or will tell you, that after that workout, what they're craving is the minerals that they just depleted out of their body. So they need salt and potassium to replenish those minerals. Which, by the way, that's what's in Gatorade. It's salt and potassium, and plus some other crap. And she'll break out the thing of potassium and go, here, take this potassium, here, take these sea salts, and you're good. And honestly, right after 10 minutes, about 5-10 minutes, depending how much I need, I'm good.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I mean, but
Maybe
yeah,
I should have her on the podcast one day. She's very, very educated in nutrition.
dude, we can do nutrition. I mean, I'm always down to learn. It's crazy because I respect everyone's theory. Like I
Right.
will never be vegetarian or
It's
vegan,
your
but
truth,
I
baby.
respect. Yeah, exactly. I respect your truth. Do whatever you want to fucking do. Like, I don't want
Yeah.
you to be the arbiter of mine, so I'm surely not going to be the one of yours.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't know. It's really funny. I kind of fall into this libertarian idealism where I believe in individual rights. And that's what I truly believe. There shouldn't be no government interference. They don't need to put shit in our water, man. Just leave water alone, baby. Water's been what it is, man.
Yeah, yeah. So where are you at with water? So I've never had a Smart or a Fiji water ever
No,
in my life, ever in my
I've
life.
had
But on
I've had Fiji
Rogan,
water.
on
I've had it
Rogan the other
before.
day, I
Yeah.
guess so. I guess that the fucking Fiji water really does come from Fiji. Like that's a real thing. At first, when the company
Yeah.
came out, it didn't, and then there was some irritation, so they made it happen, and now it
Wow.
does. But I was told that, like,
They legitimize the business.
yeah, at post creation, you have to.
That's funny.
Yeah, get fake it till you make it, and when someone calls you on it, just now you have the capital, fix it. But you know what I mean? It'd be like fucking being a musician and you sound like Stephen Hawking, but you're like, I got a really good actor.
He was a very successful voice actor for a while. Dude, seriously, Stephen Hawking had a voice acting career. He was on a number of shows that he guest starred on, and
was his voice like problem?
yeah,
That happened like midlife, not from
yeah,
birth?
it was way after, way after everything, when his voice finally gave out. That's when he was
That
doing
makes
it.
so much more sense because I could
Yeah.
never retained much from that robot speaker. Like 8 seconds in, I'm like, dude, like this book's painful when you have vibrato. This fucking robot doesn't even understand the words. The robot just tried to say the word parenthetical and it sounded like a pair of fucking reticle. And I was like, you know what I mean? That was actually one of the words I tried to rhyme in so a compound rhyme in music as a musician is two words in separate bars, line 1 and line 2, for instance, or 3 and
Okay.
4, that
Mhm.
that rhyme the first and second syllable fully. So like if blah 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 scornfully, blah 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 mournfully, and that would be a mock-up. It's the best example of a compound rhyme you're gonna get for simple sake.
No, I'm familiar with the concept.
Yeah, and so that's that's one reason, like, Eminem and Lil Wayne sound so insane because they build a bunch of mini rhymes that are not compounds, like back to tap to hat to strap, and then they jump into a compound. And so you hear this alliteration of filler word, rhyme, filler word, rhyme. Yeah, she thinks I'm playing with her.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
I see that.
but it's this beautiful thing that comes together, and I tried to rhyme the word parenthetical, man. Like it was like, I weeks, and I think in the end I came up with um pay rent or use the reticle, and I just mumbled and or whatever the
Oh
middle
my
word
god.
was. Yeah, dude, it's so hard to, like, how do you compound pair in that call? It's a 5-syllable word, so you have to have an equivalent 5 syllables that all rhyme, and unless you have the word hat and cat, and even still that's 1 syllable. So
Parenethical.
parenthetical,
Parenethicals.
unethicals,
Yeah, inethical.
inethical,
Inethical.
inethical. So is that a thing, like like
Yeah.
unethical?
Yeah, it means
It's
yeah,
unethical.
inethical. It's not a real word, but it means not ethical.
You hurt me for a second. I was like, bro,
I
I spent like
did.
fucking 6
I
weeks
loved it.
Googling every word that existed to learn how to fucking solve this. And he's like, oh, dude, I got a first try. Like, no, okay, we're good. That's like
Tear,
that's wrong.
tear me in that and tear me in. Man, I'm trying to think.
Dude, it's a roughie. I'm
Yeah, it's
telling
a
you,
rough
like,
one.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like, and it's almost like bringing up door hinge and fucking orange. Like, you know what I mean? You got to be skilled to make those sound like the same thing.
Oh, you kind of, I want to circle something back. You know how we were talking about health and how
Or
people.
4 minute warning too.
Okay, good. So I want to show you something really quick because this is where I made this realization where I go, I have to change my diet again, kind of thing. Let me see if I can find this picture really quick. But it's basically about my hairline, and I was very impressed that this was taken almost freaking 5 years ago when I saw this picture, and I went, it's like, dude, I used to look like that. So this is a picture of me. Let me see if I can get it up there. That's my hairline from 5 years ago.
Oh, jeez.
And that my diet back in 2016 wasn't as great as it used to be. And now you take a look at it now.
Yeah, no, you don't look like that. Like,
Yeah, it's really nuts that, when you look at, yeah, look at that. Like, look at the hair. There's barely any hair on the
and
front.
you didn't
Yeah,
buzz that for a hairstyle. That was natural. Like, it just
that was
wasn't growing
natural. I
there.
combed it back, and that's how it looked when I combed it back. And I noted, and there was this, and I noticed it and looked and saw it and went, that's a problem. My hair has never looked like this before. So
Right.
then I just started doing things before she was my wife. She got me help and put me on a program for supplements and changing my eating habits. And my hair has been growing back ever since.
Congrats, bro. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a
Mhm.
receding hairline. I have an expanding forehead frontier. Um, no, but my great grandmother, rest in peace, she used to say, "You have a very nice forehead." I never disliked it, but once that was said, I was like, "There's something to dislike." What the fuck, you know? But no, you look at my face, it's mostly forehead. Like,
It's
if
25% forehead.
I'm gonna fucking hit you with part of my face. You do not want it to be the forehead. You know what I'm saying? Like, you yourself, you have a magnificent forehead too, because your hairline is receded like
It is. No, it is.
25% what that photo was. But even still, you have a good looking forehead. You get away with it. Like, until now, I never thought the words "you" and receded hairline ever. Like, ever. Like, you know, you showed me
Oh.
that photo and I was like, "Whoa, Jesus Christ, Steven." That is rough as shit. But no, I had a bad haircut. I put bubble gum in my hair, and my grandmother, we were
Oh,
dog
man.
sitting, and we were next door. We could have went home, but we were dog sitting, and then she cut the gum out, and the scissors broke and clamped on my hair. And so we had to get pliers. By the time we got the scissors off, they had misshapen and cut like a fucking, yeah. And I got all fucked up. I shaved my head. When I have a shaved head, I don't know. I look weird. Like, I don't mind it because I'm not a vanity person. I try not to look at my own camera. It's just my fucking RGB catches my eye or my cat. But no, I don't know. I'm not into it. I don't like, but I'm not a shave. I like having a shaved head, but people think I look weird. Like,
It's been a while since I had a buzzed haircut, man, myself. I think it's been about 7 years since I last, shaved this down almost to nothing. And it's been, so I don't know what I look like. I know my wife doesn't care for it. She says she sees the pictures of me and she goes, "Nope, I like it that you have hair." She says to me,
Amen.
I thought I always looked good, almost down to where it's very down buzz. You can, almost see the scalp because there's just very little, hair, overgrowing it. I always liked it, honestly. I did it actually throughout my college years. I always buzzed it just because I just didn't want to focus on my hair. It was very much
It's
similar to
easier. You can
it was
skip showers and no get ready.
no
Oh,
shampoo,
were you
nothing.
laying down in your bed, motherfucker? Nope, but I was.
And then it was Einstein's pants thing, right? How he wore the same pair of pants because he didn't want to waste the mind power on figuring out what pants he wants to wear. So he just had the one pair of pants that he would just wear all the time and clean it maybe once a week if anything. So it was like that for me. I just said, you know what? I'm gonna buzz my hair because I don't want to worry about, because I never bought shampoo, I never bought conditioner because I had barely any hair that really needed it, because that was my logic to it. It was like I don't have this. What am I shampooing? Who am I doing that for?
Right. Yeah, man. No, that fucking great show, dude. You got your show after this?
I got I already prepared everything that I needed for it. So we're gonna go in, go ham, baby.
Go get it, man. Yeah, we gotta have a bouse talk sometime. I would love to, I don't know. I feel like I don't know jack shit about your show. I mean, you know what I mean? I would be curious to learn about it. You can
Well,
share it. You can share it beneath the show too if you want. Give me the links. Like
it's funny
Spencer,
enough.
I
Funny
read
enough,
his
it's not a show. You keep I never corrected you, but now I have to. But it's not a show. It's just me and my friends playing Dungeons and Dragons. I don't record it.
oh
I
no,
write
you're right.
about it,
Okay, so
but I write
yeah,
about
no,
it on my blog, but I don't record it.
correction, much needed. I thought it was a show. I thought you had a D&D show. Like that's how when you describe it, that's what it comes across as. You're like,
That's totally
I have a
fair.
fucking aficionado business. Do you want to see the fucking table mat? All right, but like, no, seriously. All right, everyone have a good night. Thank you for listening. If they won't listen, 32.
Later day, guys.